What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today on this, the wonderful 25th day of January. It is the 25th. We have about 9 hours and 10 minutes left in the day. We're sitting at about $1.88. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, okay? XRP, I think Japan is passing a law or a bill or whatever that makes XRP like legal or like a legitimate currency or a what is it? What is it? Let's see here. Japan recognizes XRP. Let's just type that in and see what it says. Set to recognize XRP as a regulated financial asset, which is cool. It sounds cool, right? I think it sounds like a bigger deal than it is. Really, it's probably another fart in the wind. What's happening here is this is just a method of approach to be able to regulate XRP more effectively in Japan, which regulations are good and all, helps bring clarity, helps bring growth in the space that might have been scared away otherwise because of the lack of regulatory clarity. So that's good. But even with this news, and I think this is like relatively new news too. I mean, when did this come out? We look at the news. I think they announced it yesterday, or maybe, let's see. Yeah, 23 hours ago. I think they announced that yesterday. But it's only coin paper that says this. That's interesting. It's only like one. Maybe Google's glitching out or something. Not a whole lot of volume, not a whole lot of reaction off of this. Again, I think it's kind of like a fart in the wind, but it is exciting because in the long term, I think this will be very beneficial to XRP. And of course, it's a very validating testament to anybody who believes in XRP's long term, right? Anybody who thinks that XRP is just going to dump off and it's pumped, it's dumped, now it's going to go to zero and it's a dead coin. I mean, stuff like this would disagree with that entirely, right? You're not making these kind of regulatory frameworks if it's just a gone with the wind kind of thing. Anyways, let's get into the short term stuff. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and then zoom back out from there. Okay, we're looking at this here on the 1 hour. We are picking up a little bit of volume. Right? It looks somewhat like there's some volume picking up here, but you zoom out and you just see it's really non-existent. That's such small levels of volume entirely. We are breaking out to the downside, it seems. You had these higher lows here, right? All these higher lows here. You've broken out and you back tested it for resistance, and now you're breaking out, and you technically are, even though you have very low levels of volume, you technically are picking up in volume as you move down. So going lower, I think, is to be expected. The question, of course, remains, how much lower? How much lower do we go? From a low to a high, at this point, I don't know if I'd be too surprised if we did go below this low. We have interacted with the golden ratio as support and as resistance. We've shown a lot of movement throughout this range. We just broke through the golden ratio one last time and back tested for resistance one last time. I don't believe that if we come to the 886 that it's going to hold a support, and if I don't believe that, that means automatically I'm assuming extensions, which would then imply that $1.80 to $1.74 is something that we should consider as a target for XRP. The one thing that I will say, that the conniption here is that because there isn't really a lot of volume, maybe we do push down and then we pump up. Maybe it's a fake out. Maybe we do something weird where we don't really find support at any fib level that makes sense, and that's fine. But you have shown a lot of respect at these fib levels. I know it looks like you're disrespecting the golden ratio, but initially you found direct support at the golden ratio. Initially you found direct support at the 382, resistance at the 0.5, support at the 886 twice, resistance right there at the 382, support right there at the 0.5, resistance at the 236. You're showing so much respect. Look at all the respect. Look at all the direct lines of significance that are coming in with this Fibonacci level. I would be surprised if we stopped respecting it now. But in the terms of a fake out, weird stuff happens. So either we hold this area as support, which I doubt, we hold this area as support, which I doubt, or we're going down to the 1272 to the 1618, which is $1.80 to $1.74, which at this point is my call. Unless I see something different on the indicators. 1 hour RSI, stochastics, and MACD are all bearish. With that being said, you can go a little bit lower here and you'll have some bullish divergence. Again, maybe there is this weird kind of fake out scenario that plays out and we don't respect the fibs. Maybe. in a range that we've really been respecting. It can happen. Fake outs happen. Fake outs are very prominent with these kind of wedge patterns. With pennants, they're actually very, very prominent. So it can be a thing. The 4-hour RSI, stochastics, and the MACD, they're all bearish. I feel very confident and comfortable with calling for prices below this low. We haven't called for that since it happened, since the 19th. We've been assuming that that would be the low that would prevail. But at this point in time, I genuinely do believe that we will go maybe a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. Rejection off the 40 on the RSI should have been a clear signal there. Rejecting the oversold zone, clear signal there. And then the MACD, we were supposed to find support at the 0, but now we're crossing through it a little bit more. We're probably going to go lower. We probably do see a lower low, and we get bullish divergence built on the RSI, on the stochastics, and the MACD as a result of that. But I don't expect, what I really don't expect is that we will go below these lows here. Let's see. Let me make sure I have the right fib level. There we go. Oh. Maybe we do. Maybe we go below these lows, even back from December and from October. Maybe we go right to $1.74. Government shutdown news, all this stuff. XRP goes down, and then boom, then we pump. As soon as you get a lower low, then we pump. I could see it happening. Just because these are potential targets that we're outlining doesn't mean they all have to hit. Again, there are possible scenarios where we do turn around beforehand. But we could hold support at $1.80, still provide a higher low. $1.78, still provide a higher low. But if we do go to a lower low, I would expect it's a fake out. It's a slight lower low at $1.74, and then we move up. All in all, of course, as I said in the beginning of the video, I do expect very, very bullish things. I don't know what aspirations, prospects in the future for XRP. I don't assume that we're going to be breaking out to the downside here. I do assume that we'll be breaking out to the upside. It's just a matter of time is all it is. From here, from this $1.88 level, we move down to about $1.80 to $1.75. That's the expectation. That's the call that I'm making at the moment. And then from there, we will move back up, reclaim our $2.70, $2.90 level. That's the first stop. Consolidate, push on to our all-time high areas at about 330, 360. And then whenever we're breaking out, whenever we're in full send breakout mode to new all-time highs, we should be rapidly approaching that $13 to $16 price area. I don't have anything else that I want to say, so I'm going to end it there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Take care of yourselves. The weekly stochastics, RSI, and the MACD all do look bearish at the moment. Oof. We really need a turnaround at this low area. We really need to take out this high here at about $2.45. If we can't take out that high, and if we don't see a fake out, if it's a little bit more pronounced, XRP could really be in some serious trouble. I don't expect that to happen, but just with the way that these weekly indicators look, you're not in the doghouse yet, but you're one bad move away from being in the doghouse. I don't think we're going to get that bad move. I think we're going to stay out of the doghouse, but just stuff that we should talk about while we're down here. Nonetheless, it's relevant. Hit that like button. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.